So friends, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to do something really cool. We're going to take all your feedback, the things that you mentioned that is preventing you from being successful in real estate. So one of them is funding, knowledge, experience, meeting the right people to lead you in the successful path. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you tonight the tips, how you can really ramp up your real estate investment efforts to take you to the next level. So we're going to start off with the following statement. Make sure you write this down. There are only 3 activities that you can engage in real estate that is going to make you money. One of them is talking to sellers, talking to owners, and making offers. And that's what we're going to do tonight. Anything else that you do is overhead, okay? But something that is very critical in real estate, you need to know your numbers. And we have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to give you those answers, okay? So that you focus on what you really need to become good at, which is making offers, talking to sellers and talking to listing agents. We're gonna do all the legwork for you, okay? So having said that, I would like you to send me via the chat some areas or some property addresses, okay? Because what we're gonna do is we will either find a deal or analyze one that you have already in mind or that you wanna work on. So if you can send that via the chat or just speak out loud and let me know, so we can start. So I'm gonna guide you through the process of how the pros do it. So again, I need some areas or specific addresses of properties. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna analyze when you get into real estate, you have only 3 exit strategies: wholesale, fix and flip, and buy and hold. All 3 strategies require you to know the numbers. So you need to know 3 numbers, like the back of your hand. One of them is going to be the after repair value. The second number is going to be the rehab. And the third number is going to be how much you should offer for the property, okay? And guess what? We're gonna do all that for you. So you don't need to think, work, create. We're gonna give you all that information. So somebody gave me an address, so in Cicero. So first of all, the first thing that you need to know is understand the area, right? Before you invest in it. So we're gonna go into Cicero and find some deals. So the things that you need to know about Cicero is what type of area is that? Should I do flips? Should I do rentals in Cicero? If I do a flip, how long is it gonna stay on the market? What's the crime rate like? If I do a rental, what are the ongoing rents? Okay, and how long they stay in the market? So what I'm going to do is, I'm just gonna type in Cicero to get the report, okay? So what we're going to do next is just quickly look at the summary of it. So right here you have the summary. Cicero, it's a C area. We recommend flip. Livability score is 72. So anything over 70, it is a BC area, okay? Median income 41. And then something that we're gonna be focusing on is these numbers. Sweet spot to buy a detached. DE stands for detached or single family home. So we need to buy a property under 137 in Cicero, okay? And we can further go into more details because we're gonna need to know, so this is Cicero, okay? The livability score, so everything looks good. Amenities, cost of living, crime. It's lacking source of employment. As you can see, it's an F, okay? And then housing, so it's kind of expensive and there are not that many properties for sale. Okay, so the supply is short. So the crime is low. Everything that we show in details, we're gonna summarize right here at the bottom of it, right here. So we recommend to do flips in Cicero. It's a C area, and the schools are not that great. Crime is a little bit below average. Population growth, I would say, is stable, or 1.24 decreasing is very little. Okay, something that you really need to know is how many days it's going to stay on the market if you do a flip. So if you do a flip in Cicero, it's going to stay in the market for about a little bit over 2 months, 2.5 months or so. And as we discovered, we need to pay less than 137. Okay, there are already 31 flips for single family homes. And then if you decide to do a rental, let's find out what the rents are like in Cicero. So for a 3-bedroom, it will be somewhere in the 1,200. And how long they stay in the market? They stay in the market for about a month and a half or so. So now somebody gave me an address. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to analyze this property. So 5045 West 30th Street in Cicero, okay? So Rick gave us this address. So this looks like a 3-flat. It looks like a multi-unit. Okay, let's just quickly analyze. It's been on the market for 11 days. Okay, so this is what you need to know. You need to know the ARV of the property, okay? And this property is for sale for 305. Okay, so if I go back to the Cicero report, let me go up to understand a multi-unit. So 2 to 4 flat needs to be purchased under 147. So let's just quickly take a look at the pictures. Okay, so the building looks very cool. So it's pretty much been rehabbed, and I'm sure it's got tenants in there. Yeah, pretty much. As you can see, they've done all the work. I mean, it looks very nice. It has, I'm sure this is a 3-flat. So what we're gonna do is look at the details. Okay, massive brick 3-flat. So it was extensively updated. As you can see, I mean, it's got everything, right? So there's nothing that you need to do. New furnace, plumbing, electric, roof, water heaters, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. I mean, it's just in awesome shape. The wood porch was torn down and rebuilt. So they put a lot of money into this property. It's a key-turn building. So the location seems pretty good. So now here, the question is, how much should you buy it for? The problem with this property is that there's no room for you to add value into the property. So if you end up making an offer on this property, you're going to be paying retail price on this one. So since we're investors, friends, we're looking for properties that need some sort of work, because right now you would be paying retail price. You're buying these from somebody who is doing a flip. So the only thing that you can consider in this property would be like a rental to make sure, you know, it cash flows. So Rick, tell us more about this property. Why did you give us this property? What's catching your interest in this one?
Well, this property is basically movie ready.
Right.
You know, ready to move in. With my VA certificate, that's the type of property I need to get. And I'm looking for a maximum amount of renters to help pay the mortgage. I spoke to the leasing agent, Karina Lewis. She told me all mechanicals are new. Everything is brand new. And I'm looking to buy and move in. And
perfect.
that's the bottom line.
Right. So in this case, let me tell you like a rule of thumb, right? To analyze the property. So he wants to move in the property and rent it. So you're going to be moving into one of the units. So it's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, all of them, right?
Yes, sir.
So let me just give you a rule of thumb. The 1% rule of thumb. Let me pull up my calculator. So if you buy the property for 300,000, you need to collect at least 3,000 in rent. Okay, so if Rick was not to moving into the property, it would be very much doable because the rents for a 3-bedroom are about 1,200. So in this case, you would collect close to 3,600. Okay, which is over over the 1% of 300. 1% of 300,000 is like 3,000. So in rents, you would collect easily 3,600 for this property. So you would be able to cash flow this property. Have you made an offer on this, Rick?
I did. Excuse me. I did. I made an offer. It
How
was
much?
listed at 319 and then 310, and I made an offer of 305, and now it's relisted 305 11 days ago. I'm watching it. And Karina Lewis told me that the owner won't take less than 305. He's an investor. He spent a lot of money. It's retail
Right.
price. You're right. But I'm looking for something to move in. And this is one of the best 3 flats that I've seen in its condition.
Yeah, no, it looks very nice. I mean, I really like it. I mean, there's nothing you can do, especially for the type of loan that you will be utilizing. It
Right.
makes sense. So the way that it's going to work,
So that the rents are higher. I spoke to her and she said that the rents right now are at 3,800, I believe. Oh, the
okay,
income.
yeah. So I estimated 3,600, being realistic. But yeah, I mean, since they did all the bells and whistles, then 38 would be reasonable. However, you're going to be moving into one of the properties, so you're going to be collecting about 2,400, okay, or so. 2,400. Oh, not 20, yeah, 2,400. So you should be able to pay your principal, interest, tax, and insurance. So you're going to be pretty much rent free. Um, so you're going to put very little down, right? If any, VA loans can pay up to 100% for the down payment.
Yes, sir. I know. Yes.
Yeah. So this deal is it's great for what you're trying to do.
Well,
Uh,
can I mention something, Hugo?
yes, of
For the
course.
same amount of square footage, basically, and the condition on the north side, these houses are going for 500 and 600,000. So I had to go somewhere where, I'm getting the same Lamborghini cheaper. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so everything on the south side basically is almost half price of what's on the north side. And that's the reason I picked this area and this building.
Right. No, no, the building looks amazing and they've done so much work. Let me just look at the street. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. So yeah, no, definitely, Rick. It makes total sense for you to live in one unit and rent out the other ones. You're going to be maybe you might not be cash flowing much, but for sure you're going to be mostly rent free.
Would you say for a first building, this is okay?
Of course,
And
of
because
course,
I'm going to build a portfolio, so I am looking at other, properties below market value in need of repair with a
of
motivated
course.
seller.
Totally, totally. So it qualifies for the 1%. So that's how quickly you can analyze a property.
The reason I'm asking is this is the property I want to send to Frank and try to see, what kind of funding get it rolling.
Of
Get it
course.
rolling.
Right. Okay. So great, Rick. So I
Thank
would
you.
say move forward. So this is a great deal for your situation, friends. Okay. So now let's do another one really quickly. Can you send me another area via the chat or unmute yourself? Let's find some really great deals where we can add value to the property. Not only that, but I'll show you how to quickly analyze it and take the next step, which is making an offer. Okay. So any other areas? other than C0? Otherwise, we stick to C0. Okay, anybody on the line who would like to give us an area, or we'll just try to find properties in C0? Okay, Matson. Okay, so now let's quickly, Matson. So let's take that one. Aurora, Matson. So what I'm gonna do is very quickly pull up Matson. Okay. Okay, right here. So let's pull it up, because this is the first thing you need to know. You need to understand where you're investing. Okay, so Matson, geographic location, it's southwest suburb. So livability score is over 70%, which is great. So everything looks good except for employment. So let's just quickly go to the summary. Well, something that really caught my eye, guys, check this out. Population growth, 47%. That is phenomenal. Okay, so now let's go down to the area type. So this is a BC area. We recommend a flip. So as you saw, we're pointing out the population growth. Schools are good, crime is a little bit above the average, but again, every area has pockets. So this is a great area. Now, let's look at how much we should find the property for. So we're going to focus on single family homes, detached in Matson. We should be paying less than $130,000 for a property. If we do a flip, they're going to stay in the market for quite some time, at least 4 months. And there are a lot of flippers in that area. Look at this. Okay, so let's find some great deals in Matson. We're going to focus on MLS and also off market. So Matson, and then we're going to be focusing on, let's just find minimum of 2 bedrooms that are active, property type, single family homes. Let's find some deals. Okay. So what the system is doing right now, we're going to the MLS, and we are doing behind the scenes real-time analysis for the flip, for the rental ARVs. So we're going to present the properties listed from the cheapest to the more expensive ones. Okay. So in this case, 59 active. So these are all active. So I'm just going to pick one that looks decent, that looks nice. 84, let me see, 85. And, you know, my preference is for sure brick, if possible. Okay, so this looks pretty nice. Let's just pick this one. Well, I take it back, because the sweet spot, friends, is to do properties that are less than 1,500 square feet. So this one is 2,300 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. The problem with these type of properties is that if you do a flip, or even if you do a rental, the rehab is going to hit easily 40,000. So we like to stay with smaller properties. So these are the rule of thumbs, right? So stay within properties that have no more than 1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms. Let me look at this one. So this is one of them. Let's quickly take a look at this one. Okay, so Matson. So the first thing that you guys need to look at is location, right? So in here, I'm gonna zoom in. Let me do the street view. Okay, so this is not on the highway, but it's right behind. So if you can see this, if I zoom in, pretty much the property is right here, and here you have Governor's Highway. So obviously this is going to be a factor for marketability purposes, because people don't like to buy properties near highways, busy streets. Okay, so that's going to be an issue for this property. That is why it's been sitting on the market for 149 days. So we can skip it all together. So for instance, this is how quickly you analyze it, right? So first of all, location, 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 right? You don't want to buy something like on top of the highway or that is near a river or cemetery. So that's how you can skip it, okay? Before doing any of the analysis, which we give you right here, but this doesn't make sense. So let me go back to the MLS search and go to the next one. Let me move these windows. Okay, scroll down. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next 12. That is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. So this is pretty cool. Let me see. This looks nice. 3-bedroom, 1 bath. So let me quickly take a look at this one. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is location. Okay, so this is good. Let me do the street view. So the street looks fairly decent. Okay, so this is the property. So the tree is sort of blocking it. Now let's quickly look at the pictures. Well, as you can see, it's fairly clean. It's very nice. Okay, so very little work. Very little work. Now let's analyze this property. So the 3 numbers that I told you that you need to know is the ARV. How much can you resell this property for? So this property could be resold for about $115,000. Now the rehab, in this case, it's been done. So there's very, very little. This is sort of like in moving condition, very little that you can do in this property. I mean, even the kitchen, it's nice. Everything is very clean on this property. It's been on the market for 42 days. There's no basement, 2-car garage, and they started listing the property for 109, and now it's at 98. So now, what we're gonna do is, if we were to make an offer, since it doesn't need any work, we estimated if we were to do some work on the property between 20 to 30,000. So we're gonna need to put that number back into the equation. So this is the third number that you need to get right. How much money are you gonna be able to offer on this deal? So it's gonna be if you do a flip, a rental, or a wholesale. As you can see, rental is more forgiving, okay? Whereas the flip, you need more meat in the bone, right? When you flip the property, because the rental is a long term, so you can afford to pay a little bit more, plus the rehab is not gonna be as nice as in the flip. So the next thing that you're gonna need to do is, let's say, if we're not gonna spend that 30,000 into the rehab, we're gonna add it into the equation right here. So if we were to buy this property, we could afford to buy it for a rental at 30,000, so 96,000, so almost asking price. For a flip, I mean, there's not much we can do, but if we add 30,000, so if we can get this property for 85,000, it'll be a great deal. 85,000, friends, for this property would be a great deal. Now let's look at the description and see what it says. Long-time owners offer this charming 3-bedroom, 1 bath ranch with a spacious 2-car garage. So everything is beautiful on this property. Even the windows and siding is new, hardwood laminate in the kitchen. So everything is pretty much new. So now they're selling as is, okay? Buyer to take on any village requirements repairs. So now email offers to this number, pre-approval and signed disclosures must be submitted, okay? Earnest money must be $1,500. So friends, the next step is to take action on this property. Let's assume that we wanna try to get it on the contract. I would love, so the next step is, again, what I told you earlier, get on the phone and call the listing agent. If you're not a broker, what you need to do is ask the listing agent to see if she could represent you in the transaction, which is going to be very motivating for the agents because they're going to keep the entire commission that they charge to the seller. Okay, so that's called dual agency. So in this case, the next step is for me to find out what the bottom line is for the seller, right? So I'm gonna call right now. I'm gonna put them on the speakerphone, and let's find out that confidential information. So 708-227-7530. I'm dialing right now. She's not picking up, so I'm going to leave a message.
Hi, you've reached Kara Delightis with the HACO team at Remax Synergy. If you'd like to send me a text, that is the fastest way to reach me because I'm often with clients. Otherwise, you can try my office at 708-957-5000, and my staff can assist you as well. Have a great day. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hello, Kara. This is Hugo from Home First Realty. I'm calling regarding your listing at 1006 Purdue in Matson. If you could please call me when you get a chance. My number is 773-368-4551. Thank you. So, friends, one of the things that you want to find out is, they mentioned here that it may require village repairs. So that's the first thing that you want to find out. Any sort of violations that you need to take care of, you want to find that out. You also want to find out how much they're willing to take. So the way to do that is, hey, Kara, I like the property and I would like us to put it together. So where do we need to be, right? So what you're trying to do is find out confidential information about Kara's client, the seller, to see what they're willing to do to sell the property. Now, let's assume that they were to tell us, yeah, Hugo, we are willing to, negotiate, we're flexible, the seller is motivated. Fine. So we know ideally we would like to get it for $85,000. So we could it doesn't hurt to make a lowball offer. However, you really need to try to find out where you need to be, okay? Because many sellers can get offended. Okay, and they may not want to deal with you if you make a lowball offer, especially if the property has been rehabbed. So if we wanted to make an offer, friends, all we needed to do is just click on make offer right here. And all you need to do is put in 3 numbers. So here, we don't want to pay more than, let's say our top number would be 87 or 90,000, for instance. So you can use putting the purchase price right here, 89. And then when you're going to close, earnest money, and that's it, as is. So when you submit the offer, you can check your email, and it's going to be emailed to your inbox. So it's going to be with your entity, and then the whole contract is already pre-filled. For the purchase price, it's going to have your initials, your signatures, everything. The last page is going to have your signature, the listing agent's contact information, Kara, everything, right? Our attorney, Chicago funding, everything. So everything is done for you, and it's going to be in your inbox, okay? Now, in DealVault, please make sure that you upload your, let me show you, user settings, upload your proof of funds, articles of incorporation, and operating agreement. Because when we generate the offer, we're going to include all these 3 documents in the email because that's exactly what they're going to need. As you can see in the description of the listing, when it comes to making an offer, it says to include your proof of funds, or in this case, pre-approval, okay? referral letter. So make sure that you include that so it's all in one email, and then you can just forward that email to her. So it is that simple. Friends, the key thing is to take action. But what I want to emphasize is that we give you all the numbers that you need. Again, this is the key number that you need to get right. After repair value, you need to know how much it's going to take for the rehab. In this case, this property is all done, and then how much you should offer for the property. Are there any questions on the line? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look into an off-market property. So I'm going to go into off-market pre-foreclosures, and we're going to find Matson. Okay, so I'm going to show you something really cool. If I find all the pre-foreclosures in Matson, we're going to get a lot, 300, right? But the key, friends, is to filter these by high equity. So we just want the properties in which the owner owes very little money to the bank and they have a lot of equity in the property. So now we have 16. Okay, now we're talking. So I'm going to tell you why these are great deals. Okay, the reason why is I'm just going to open up the first one. So very simple. This is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It's pretty large, 2,400. Okay, so this is how it works. The first thing that you need to know is how much will the property be worth when I do the repairs. About 210, between 200 to 220. Okay, how much will I spend in the rehab? Well, you have to see the property from the inside. But again, based on the square footage and the location, the rehab could be high, 40 to 60. Therefore, the max you should offer on this property is about, for a flip, 100, for a rental, about 121. So now check this out. The balance on the property to the mortgage is 62,000. So the way to get this property on the contract is we have to pay off this outstanding balance, plus maybe some fees and penalties. So this would probably amount to 70,000, including closing costs. And then you need to pay the owner some sort of relocation package. So let's assume the purchase price is 70, and then you pay them an additional 15. So if you can get this property for 85, it's pretty much almost like the wholesale price. So you're going to have enough meat in the bone to pretty much do anything. Wholesale the property, buy and hold, or fix and flip. Okay. So now the next thing, obviously these 16 properties are great deals because they have a lot of equity, is to get in touch with the owner, right? To be able to do that, all you need to do is click on the owner name. So what I'm going to do is, as we speak, I'm going to call the owner. I'm going to call Michael 773-607-9475. So what I want to do, friends, is make an appointment because we need to see the property from the inside and make an offer on the property. So I'm going to call them right now.
You have reached the Sprint voicemail box of...
Leave your name and number, and I'll call you back.
Hey, Michael, this is Hugo. I'm a real estate investor. We've been buying properties in your neighborhood in Matson. I understand that you're in pre-foreclosure. If you could please give me a call, I can help you. My number is 773-368-4551. Thank you. Okay, friends, so we just left a message. It's that simple. That's what I was telling you about. There are plenty of leads, deals in the system, We give you all the information, the numbers, the data. All you need to do is get on the phone, right? Start calling them, try to make appointments, go see properties, make offers. That's where you are going to be making money, okay? Anything else that you do will not make you money in real estate. Are there any questions on the line, friends? Okay, so that's pretty much, let's just quickly summarize what we went over. In real estate, whatever exit strategy you may pick, you only have three options: wholesale, rental, or flip. You've got to know the numbers, and there are only three numbers that you've got to understand. The after repair value, once you buy the property and fix it up, how much can you sell it for? How much are you going to invest in the rehab? And how much you need to pay for the property based on your exit strategy. So ideally, you always try to shoot for the flip number, because then you also can fall back in a rental. Okay, if you don't flip it, then you can also rent it. But if you pay 121, guess what? You cannot fall back in the flip. So you should always aim to buy the property for the flip number. Okay. What this number will help you or accomplish is a 20% return. So if you sell the property, let's say for 200,000, you are going to make at least a 20% return, so 40,000. On the rental, when you buy the property, the as-is value, you need to come in with at least a 10% equity. So if the as-is value of the property is 100,000, you need to buy it for 90,000. And wholesale, this is where you need to pay the least, right? Because then you need to let either the flipper or the rental individual have enough meat in the bone to take on the projects. You're going to be making money in real estate, friends, when you get on the phone, talk to listing agents. If you're not a broker, or even if you're a broker, the best thing to get the deals from the listing agents is by letting them represent you, because they're going to be incentivized by keeping both sides of the commission, okay? So let them know that you're interested in them representing you in the transaction. You're going to be talking to owners, just like the message that I left. Call them, we give you the phone numbers, make an appointment, go see the property, okay? You know the numbers, you know what to offer. We also give you, here, when you click on make offer off market, we give you a 2-page contract, non-invasive, non-intrusive, that you can pre-fill. Make sure that you stay within these numbers. And finally, start making offers, right? Once you make appointments, once you talk to people, start making offers. That's how you're going to be making money in real estate, friends. So this is the topic of today, deal automation. Are there any other questions on the line? Okay, so if no further questions, I want to make sure that you are successful today. So if you don't have access to DealVault, we're going to give it to you for free for the next 30 days. Not only that, but we're going to assign a dedicated virtual assistant. We call them Alexa, okay? With the areas that you're interested in buying, let us know what those are. We're going to have them find great deals like this one off market with high equity. We're going to analyze these for a flip, for a rental. We're going to email you the lead already analyzed with the owner's contact information and the area report in your inbox. So if you're a DealVault member and you're not getting those, we're going to make those available to you. So please make sure that you email us the areas that you're interested in. And if you are